Hi, I'm Matt Jones and you've been watching Sport and Icons.
Matty Jobs, hello.
Hey Martin.
So, as we touched on there in the press conference, this is your 5th promoted show in 12 months, excluding the Jaffa ones.
Yeah, it's been a busy year for us. It's been really good. Really enjoyed it. A bit stressful every now and then because basically you just want the best for the lads and lasses out there fighting, you know. So it's a big responsibility for us promoters and managers to do the best we can to make sure that we help these boxers on their journey, you know.
Are you still enjoying it though?
Oh yeah, still enjoying it. Yeah, it's, you know, it makes it all worthwhile when you see the lads and lasses get out there and fight on the stages that they have been this year, especially in the northeast. You know, it was geography was like lost and forgotten about up here. You know, so it's great to get these shows on up here. You know.
Now, every single one of your fight nights has been fantastic, but this on paper should be the best.
Yeah. When we set out, that was our goal, to put shows on in the northeast, to get people talking about boxing again and bring people back to the venues to support these local fighters and build their careers, you know. So hence a lot of the boxers have come to me and said that they didn't want really easy fights, they want challenges, to see how far they can actually get in the sport, you know.
Well, that's one of the things that I noticed ever since like your first show, is that even though like your own fighters here at Job's gym, you will still match them against tough opponents.
Yeah, sure. You know, it's a tough game, boxing, and you see these lads and lasses training every day, and you see some of the spars they have, and you know, and these should be like stepping into the ring with no fear whatsoever, because some of the sparring that they've had, the calibre of the sparring that they've had, you know, isn't going to be the calibre of the opponent straight away that they're in with anyway, you know. So it's but there will be challenges, and that's what we're here for, to get the right fights at the right time, and hopefully not easy walkovers for these kids, you know.
I agree. Although speaking of which, I remember I had an interview with Phil Jeffries probably 4 years ago now, and he said that one of the biggest problems in the northeast is that there's a lot of talent, but what's good about it is that everybody likes each other, everybody supports each other. You'll go to other people's gyms, you'll go to the shows and all that kind of thing to support each other. But he says the counteraction to that one is that they don't fight each other enough, but now they're starting to.
Yeah, I think to get the northeast recognised, we need to put these local derbies on. You know, even if you've got a loss on your record, doesn't mean to say it's the end of your career. You know, it's you've just been beat off the better opponent on the night. True fighters going to be a regroup, come back. Some fighters, it makes them stronger. You know, we've seen greats in the past lose fights early on in their careers and still went on to achieve a lot in the sport. So I don't think a loss in an early stage is the end of your career. You know, and like try to reiterate that to the fighters in the northeast. You know, didn't look too much at that just look to get the experience.
Exactly. I agree with that one. Okay, and at that press conference there, I was a little bit surprised that Jeff Saunders called out Joe Laws. Do you like that fight?
I do, yeah. On paper, it looks mouth-watering, but if it does come off, believe me, in the ring it'll be even more mouth-watering, you know, because they're two really, really tough kids, two lads as well I've got a lot of time for as well. You know, like Joe's a great lad, you know, he's from the West End as well, where I'm from as well, so, you know, it'd be great to see Joe fight on a big stage actually for a title. You know, because I think he deserves it. You know, he's a committed young lad, and he's been in the sport a lot of years. You know, and he trains brilliant. You know, and but he comes in here and does a little bit of strength and conditioning stuff. We're strength and conditioning coach here, and he'll come in and have a crack with everybody. You know, and all the lads are pleased to see him every time he comes in. You know, he's a nice young lad. You know.
Now, how would you sum up the last 12 months since your first promoted show? Because as I said, you've got your 5th show right now. Obviously your gym is permanently busy and that as well. You've had lots of highs, you've had a couple of lows as well, with like a couple of your fighters like are losing and that as well, who of course are bouncing back, but you've also got an area champion within that time as well.
Yeah, it's been a busy year, for not just inside the ring and outside the ring, but emotionally as well. You've got your highs, you've got your lows. It's all about game management and managing individuals the way they need to be managed. You know, one of the fighters this year had a loss that we didn't foresee coming, but for some reason or other, which we've addressed and put to bed now, he didn't turn up on that day. I still think he nicked the fight, but obviously didn't get the decision. So, but you move on from that. You discuss it straight afterwards when everybody's calmed down and collective. Put things into place, find out what went wrong, correct them, and then move on. And that's what happened. And he moved on and boxed really well in his next fight. You know. So.
As far as tickets are concerned, am I hearing that there's only a couple of tables left now?
Yeah, there's a couple of tables left. Obviously, we had another fight on the card, which has fell through the injury. So them tables have been returned off the fighter. So obviously, we've got a couple of tables there to get rid of. You know, so if anybody's interested, either get a message to any of the fighters who are already on the card, or myself or Danny, and we'll sort you from there. You know.
I've just realised somebody's missing. Was that the punch machine's fault?
No. It was just due to sparring, so it's that fight's off now, you know. So, but it's not a major injury. It's but it's enough to keep him off this show, you know.
Okay, then. So if anybody wants tickets, to hit up your social media or any of the fighters and that, if they can't be there, which they should be there. Of course, it's the final show of the Northeast before the new year. Wi-Fi permitting. I'll actually get to stream your show, this one.
That'll be brilliant. This is what we want. Want to get our fighters out there, showcase them as much as we possibly can. Also, all the other talent that's boxing on my shows. It was great last night to see the show at the arena there and have a lot of fighters on there that's boxed on our shows this year. You know, so hopefully we've given them that little platform, that little step up that they needed to get on these bigger shows. So hopefully they'll come back on next year on our shows as well, and get a mixture between ourselves and the bigger promoters, you know.
I totally agree, because I'm hearing that there are some big fight nights coming up here next year for like some of the major platforms. Of course, some of your fighters will hopefully be on them shows, which I'm sure they will be. And you're going to have a busy one next year yourself. Yeah,
definitely. Yeah. Obviously with Josh. Kelly winning last night as well. Potential for big bouts for Josh in the area again next year. So well done to him and his team. You know, unlucky for Troy. I like Troy a lot as a fighter and as a young lad. He's a top talent. So hopefully Troy can come back as well and get Troy back on the big scene as well again, and get these shows on in the Northeast and showcase our fighters as well as other fighters. You know, big shout out as well to Ant Kelly last night for having 3 of his fighters out. Not great stuff as well with Ben, Adam and Travis. You know, big respects to them. You know, I thought Ben boxed really well and what a tough, durable kid. But yeah, the kid was amazingly tough. You know, so top talent Ben as well in the Northeast. So a lot of them fighters, well done to them, great stuff, you know. I feel a little bit sorry for Jordan as well, on a loss for herself. Hopefully she can put that to bed and come back even stronger, you know. So, you know, so I wish her all the best in the future.
Well, I mean, that's one of the things is that, speaking to people up here, is that with you putting on shows, with Phil Jeffries putting on shows as well, and obviously like the major TV platforms up here as well, there's no reason for inactivity, is there?
No, none at all. It's what we've found out over the last 12 months, and I don't think it's just me, because obviously I'm in managers groups and matchmaking groups and things like that as well. I think a lot of the matchmaking is getting quite tougher for one reason or another. The board are getting more strict for foreign opponents as well coming over, which is understandable for health and safety, that's fine. But some of them need to address as well, like some of the people are knocking back when you see other fighters like getting approved to box on other shows as well, and you say to yourself, well, you know, how's that happening? That hasn't happened for us, you know. But like I say, I understand totally, and like a fighter's health and safety is the most important thing in the sport anyway. So you know, but it is challenging for the matchmaking side of things, you know. And we're lucky that we work quite closely with our matchmaker Jack Gladman, who's been absolutely outstanding Yeah, yes, man. So, but Jack's always at the end of the phone. His communication is absolutely second to none, and we've got a good build up between me, him, and Danny, and between the three, we'll work it out, and we'll get there in the end, you know.
You agree with that?
Yeah, I agree with that totally. I do agree with what Matt said about the foreign fighters aren't the easy option that they probably once were before I started. Yeah, just my luck that I've gone into it at the time where they're getting tight on foreign fighters. Brilliant. But I think there's some big things coming with Job's fighters next year. I have no doubt that certainly Matt and probably some of the others will be on the big shows next year, because I think if and when, because to me it is when, Matt wins against Boris on Sunday, the 11th, at the Hilton, I think the next one will probably be for a title, and I think to do that he will have to be on one of the big shows because of the finances involved. I don't want to bankrupt this man standing next to me, so, and I'm happy to facilitate that, and me and Matt and Danny will sit down and I will offer to help them to get any of their fighters where they need to be. That Jeff Saunders and Joe Laws fight has to happen now. Joe, ball's in your court. Your manager knows me. Jeff's manager knows me. If you need me to help you make it, let's do it. Let's get a big fight for the North East. Let's sell out a big venue.
Although we keep talking about big shows like TV platforms, but in a couple of years' time, we could be talking about you.
Hopefully, if we keep going and having the success we've had, obviously we need our fighters, and me as a coach and a manager needs to get me fighters up to the level where they're all fighting for these big fights, and then we'll take it from there on the promotion side. But my job to start with is coaching these fighters and getting them up and boxing at a level, which I know they're all capable of. Regularly, and then obviously win a couple of titles, but I'm still a great believer in small hall shows to start people's careers, and gone down the route of an area title first and then move on from there. It's I don't think there's many fighters in any area that you speak to that would bypass an area title, unless they've gone in at the top level to start with, like Olympians and things like that, who are seeing the bigger picture straight away. But the lads starting out on the smaller halls, I dare say if you offer them a chance to fight for an area title, they would jump at the chance, I
totally agree. All right, Matt, Jack, good to see you both.
Thank you, Martin. Thank you for your time again.
Cheers, Martin. Thanks.